All right, let's talk about something that's on pretty much every parent and teacher's mind. How do we help our kids navigate the, let's face it, pretty complicated digital world? We're going to break down what digital privacy actually means and give you some simple, powerful ways to get that conversation started. So let's just dive right in.
So let me just start by asking you this. If you could see everything a kid in your life has ever posted, liked, or searched for online, what story would it tell? Who would it say they are? This isn't just some random question. It's the reality of what their digital footprint is creating every single day.
And that leads us right to our first big idea. What is a digital footprint, really? It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but really understanding what it's made of, that's the first step to actually managing it.
It's really just the trail of data they leave behind with every single thing they do online. And I'm not just talking about the big stuff like social media posts. Nope. It's the websites they visit, the videos they watch, the games they play, even a simple like on a photo. Every click adds another little piece to this permanent digital puzzle of who they are.
So why does this matter so much? Well, first and foremost, it's about their safety. When personal info, like their school, where they live, or even just their full name, is out there and unprotected, it can expose them to some very real risks, from cyberbullying to, unwanted contact from strangers.
And this trail, it has a long memory. The stuff a student posts today can so easily be found years from now by college admissions officers or, their first boss. A joke or a photo that seems totally harmless when you're 13 can tell a very, very different story to an adult looking at an application 5 years down the road. And finally, and this is a big one, it's for their own awareness. Most kids have absolutely no idea that their online activity is being tracked and analyzed by companies. Their data, what they like, what they search for, it's being used to build a profile for super targeted advertising. It's so important they understand that they aren't just using a product. In a lot of ways, they are the product.
Okay, so we get the stakes, right? But the goal here isn't to scare anyone away from technology. It's to empower them. So, what can you actually do? Let's start at home with some really practical steps for parents.
Here are 4 key things. First, start the digital talk early, just like you talk about any other safety topic. Second, do a privacy checkup with your kid on their favorite apps. You would be shocked how many accounts are public by default. Third, really hammer home that idea to think before you share. And fourth, try to get a handle on the technology being used in their school. Now, this right here is a perfect example of a great analogy. When you're having that digital talk, a concept like a public profile can feel kind of abstract, right? But asking this question, it just clicks. It makes it instantly clear, connecting the online world to a real-world feeling of, being totally exposed. And that brings us to another brilliant tool, the grandma rule. It's so simple, and it works so well. Before you post, comment, or share anything, just ask yourself, would you be cool if your grandma saw this? Or your teacher? Or your future boss? If the answer is, no, then just don't post it. It's a fantastic little mental check.
Okay, let's shift gears now to the classroom. Teachers, you are right there on the front lines of shaping good digital citizens, and these ideas can be woven right into what you're already doing every day.
For educators, it really starts with modeling good behavior, like explaining why you're using certain tech tools safely. Second, you can integrate tech talks into the lessons you're already teaching. You don't need a whole new class. You can talk about a website's motive in English or data's role in social studies. Third, work with your students to create a classroom digital charter of rules. And finally, remember, you don't have to be the expert on everything. Lean on trusted resources.
All right, to have these conversations, it really helps to speak the language. So let's do a quick lightning round to break down some of the jargon you're going to hear.
First up, phishing. These are basically digital traps. They're fake emails or messages designed to look legit, all to trick you into giving away stuff like your passwords. The big giveaway is usually a sense of urgency, like act now, or a link that just looks a little off. Next, we've got cookies. And no, not the delicious kind. These are small files that websites put on your device. Now, they can be helpful, like remembering what's in your shopping cart, but they're also used to track what you do online, following you from site to site, all for advertising.
Okay, this one is so important. Two-factor authentication, or 2FA. It's one of the best things you can do to keep an account safe. It's just a second layer of defense. It means even if a bad guy steals your password, they still can't get in without that second piece of proof, like a special code sent to your phone. Malware is kind of a catch-all term. It's short for malicious software, and it covers everything from viruses that can wreck your device to spyware that secretly records what you're doing. This is exactly why you have to be so careful about what you click on and download. And last but not least, data mining. This is kind of the big picture. It's how companies take all those little bits of data, your clicks, your likes, your searches, and they analyze them on a massive scale to find patterns. And what happens to those patterns? Well, they're often sold to advertisers to target you with ads.
So, we've covered what a digital footprint is, we've talked about what to do at home and in the classroom, and we've decoded some of the lingo. But here it is. This is probably the most important takeaway of all.
Look, this isn't about giving one big, scary lecture and then just walking away. That doesn't work. Technology changes constantly. New apps pop up every day. The challenges are always evolving. The only thing that really works is to make this an open and continuous conversation, one that's built on trust and curiosity, not on fear.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you have this info, what's the first step you're going to take? What's the one question you'll ask, or the one little rule you'll introduce? What's the first digital talk you're going to have today? Thanks for joining me.